Hey guys, Xaryu here, and today I'm going to be walking you guys through a Twitch subscriber VOD review, and I'm excited because this is not my gameplay, but one of my subscribers from Twitch that he sent in. I think they're playing around 2100 to 2200-ish MMR, a little higher, a little lower, and they are playing Priest, Rogue, Fire Mage, it looks like, and I have not yet taken a look at these games, so I'm excited to jump into it and kind of see what we can find, maybe what they did well or maybe what they can improve upon. First things first, when I've been playing this comp, I've actually been playing the triple Fire Blast talent instead of Phoenix Flames with that triple Blaster Master talent. Just because it provides a little bit more burst in the setups and a little bit less sustain, but this comp isn't a ton about sustain. But yeah, let's look at a couple of these. I like your general UI. You have Gladius, it looks like. You have a lot of maybe weak ores or Tellywins here for your cooldowns. And you have, looks like Sheep 1-2-3, Counterspell 1-2-3, and stuff like that. So immediately the gates open. Looks like you're targeting the Hunter and focusing the Priest. I like it. You have those buffs, debuffs up. Everything's looking good so far. I would like to see, potentially, since the Hunter's on in stealth, a big opener on Hunter with some CC on the Priest, whether that's a blind, a kidney shot, polymorph, some type of CC here on the Priest with a big opener on the Hunter. But you could alternatively do a big opener on Priest or Demon Hunter as well, kind of depending on what your team thinks is the best option here. Let's see what you guys go ahead and do. You spell seal the Hunter. I like that. We got a blind onto the Priest, and we get a cheap shot here onto the Hunter. So nice little bit of cross CC and a nice big setup. You're popping Meteor and Combust. One thing that I might want to say right off the bat is if you are doing an opener like this, a lot of the times what I personally do is just open up with Meteor or Combust so that next time you still have a large amount of damage. However, this Priest is playing Relentless, so you could just go like all in this Hunter and just go for a blind sap. But the big thing with this, which is scary, and the reason I say kind of splitting up these cooldowns is nice, is because the Hunter has Pet Sack, right? So if he uses Pet Sack on himself, guess what? Your Combust is RIP. So specifically against Hunters, kind of holding that Combust until they use Pet Sack is really, really good. But let's go ahead and play this opener. Anyway, you get the Meteor, you get a ton of damage on Dark Arc, and here's the Pet Sack that comes out from the Hunter, completely negating your combustion. However, you have the Dark Arc, you still have a lot of damage. I would love to see a Sap off this blind or a Sheep. It looks like it's almost too late to get the Sheep at this point. But the kidney shot comes out in this Hunter. It looks like he's going to have to deterrence anyway. Hunter takes a lot of damage. Smoke Bomb comes out, and he goes into that Turtle. So a lot of cooldowns coming out. Priest is maybe going into a Polymorph. Not quite sure what happened to that Polymorph cast. Looks like he did death the Poly there or break it in some way or another. So one thing that I would recommend that I don't know if you have installed but is getting Omnibar. Omnibar is an add-on that will track enemy kicks and enemy cooldowns and putting Premonition, aka Death, onto your Omnibar, maybe right around your cast bar, right around here on the screen somewhere, so you can track that rather, fake the death, and then get the full Sheep. Very, very good. But more like a bigger problem than that, I would say, is that there's a gap between the blind and the polymorph. Right off the blind is when you want to Sheep this Priest, but you want to communicate with your Rogue. Am I sapping, or are you going to sap, or am I going to Sheep? Okay, you're not sapping, I will Sheep. You get the full poly right off that blind, and then you force more cooldowns or just win the game. It was a good opener. I mean, you got Trinket, Pensac, and Turtle here from this Hunter, but the full Sheep broke, so it looks like the Hunter is going to live just a little bit if the Priest can top him back off until this next DR. You do kick the Priest in Shadow Mend. I don't necessarily like the Shadow Mend kick here. It's usually better to kick in Penance or Holy Tree, so we can't use things like Pain Suppression, Life Grip, Barrier, so you kind of shut down their defensive cooldowns when you lock Holy. When you kick Shadow Mend, guess what? You're kind of just kicking Shadow Mend, Fear and Mind Control as well, but it's not as effective. Now, if you're kind of doing like I'll kick first, you kick second with your Rogue, I don't mind that for some extra CC. But this Hunter is coming off Kidney DR here. It looks like in just a second or two. And when you're off Kidney DR, you can get another Sheep onto the Priest and kill the Hunter. So what I would like to see is your Priest to maybe fear the Demon Hunter or mind control the Demon Hunter, a full polymorph coming out on the Priest, kidney shot on the Hunter, throw out a ton of cooldowns, and then kill. One side note that I would also like to say is that you've used all of your Phoenix Flames and all of your Fire Blasts, and you have a go coming up in about 9 seconds here, 9-10 seconds here. So you really want to slow down on using your charges, collect some damage. That means not using Fire Blast charges, not using Phoenix Flames charges until this next go. That means what are you doing? You're rebuffing Intellect. Okay, you have no Intellect up right now. You're spell stealing the Hunter to take that freedom and the spell and the shield. So Intellect, spell steal. You can polymorph the Demon Hunter. You can kite. You can cast Scorches to build up a potential Pyroblast before the go. These are all the things you want to be doing. By the way, it does look like you have Omnibar because the kick is here. So maybe just adding Premonition to that Omnibar would be a good idea. But let's see, continue to play the game. See how it goes forward. A Kidney Shot comes out on the Priest. Looks like you were trying to maybe Ring of Frost it, but you didn't quite get it. So you sheep the Demon Hunter, which I like. Okay, the Kidney Shot poly on the Priest. The poly still DR'd here for a second. Looks like you don't quite land it. I would have liked to just see a free sheep there onto the Priest, and then a Kidney onto the Hunter since he had no trinket. But the Vendetta comes through. I mean, this Hunter's at 40% life already. Looks to me like if you just get any CC onto this Priest, a Dragon's Breath of Fear, poly, this Hunter's just going to go down. So we'll continue to play the clip. Vendetta comes in. Hunter Feign Deaths. Looks like he's actually really dead now. So yeah, overall, good game there. There was some stuff I would like to see. Rebuffing Intellect is a big one. Right? You definitely want to rebuff that Intellect. Getting that CC, faking the Shadow Word Deaths, holding your procs for those big goes. Spell stealing maybe a bit more, and then holding your cooldowns for baiting the defensive cooldowns from the enemy, like that pet sack. But overall, not a bad game. I mean, you guys won, but we do have some more footage to actually take a look at. There are about 2,100 of MR, and there was the damage breakdown. All right, guys, hopping into another game. They're playing the exact same comp in the same queue session, and this time they're queuing against a Shadow Priest, a Resto Shaman, and an Assassination Rogue here on Ashmane's Fall. Same type of thing, so they're starting off invisible, kind of pushing in, going for a nice big opener. So let's see what they decide to do here. Earthbind and Earth Grab, but totems down. I would recommend, just a quick side note, putting nameplates on totems, so it makes it a lot easier to kill things like Capped Totem, Sky Fury Totem to actually click on them. That's just some random side note that I saw. That'll be in your interface settings. Sap now comes out onto the Shaman, and you throw down the Meteor. Meteor's a little sketchy here, right, because it breaks the CC, and it's split between 3, so I would have actually held the Meteor. Seems like your openers, man, are pretty scripted. You're just popping Combust and Meteor and on use in the opener. That's good sometimes, not all the time. When they're stacked, I would rather kind of see an opener where you maybe cast Fire Blast, Pyroblast, Fire Blast, Pyroblast, something like that. Just a lot of instant cast single target, get them, kind of get an opener, get the sap, get the fear, and once the fear comes out, then and they separate, then you can start using more of your AoE abilities like Combust, because Combust is going to spread that ignite, or like that Meteor, because that Meteor is going to break the sap. But let's see what you kind of do here. You triple DB in the Meteor. Okay, the triple DB, I mean, since it's going to be broken from the Meteor, is bad for 2 reasons. One, the Priest is now diminished on his fear, right? Priest can't fear because fear shares diminishing return with that Dragon's Breath, but it shares diminishing return to that blind. So now you guys don't have CC for a while because you're on the Poly and Dragon's Breath DR. So the opener was kind of a waste, and you used all your offensives. So I would have held offensives, held that Dragon's Breath, kind of gotten that AoE fear, get them spread open, and then do something. So kind of soft opener and then go if they're stacked like this. Earth Wall comes down. Priest is actually, looks like he still might be on the edge of it, so I'm not exactly sure the range on that. Yeah, it looks like the Priest is still on the edge of that, so Priest is going to be pretty tanky, plus he has that Insanity. So Rogue seems to be the best choice here. Now you have Polymorph the Shaman right here. Okay, this is pretty bad just because the diminishing return on a full Polymorph is in 5 seconds. So if you wait 5 more seconds, you get a full sheep here on the Shaman, but you half sheep him instead, kind of ruining that DR, so it's going to be just a half poly 4 seconds. You can still maybe force something with it, but that is a huge mistake. So you can Kidney Shot the Rogue, and then maybe cross CC the Priest on a Masked Spell, on a Vampiric Touch, on something like that, or a Life Grip. Make sure that Priest is not actually supporting in the go. So you have your counterspell ready for that if you need. And then, yeah, you probably want to Kidney Shot the Rogue and do a go here. Looks like you are on the rogue, and look, the poly's already over. Because it was half, but hey, look, you bombed the rogue and you got the trinket anyway, so it wasn't the end of the world. You got one more resheep. It looks like the rogue is probably going to survive. I mean, he has the shaman out of CC. You blind the shaman there late, and you get the trinket. So the blind from the rogue, I would have liked to see that blind a lot earlier, because a good shaman might have been able to hold the trinket there since he wouldn't have been able to be sapped off, but he did decide to trinket anyway, so it actually didn't hurt you guys at all. But you did get the trinket from the shaman and the trinket from the rogue. So basically, you guys win next setup if you don't die. What I would like to see you do here is pool your procs. So pool the Phoenix Flames, pool those Fire Blasts, get ready, maybe get a Pyroblast ready so that you can just Pyroblast, Fireblast, Pyroblast, Fireblast, tons of damage in that next go. Onto the rogue with cross CC and a counter spell on the priest. This game's already over if you guys execute this next go properly. And what you do until the next go, you run away, you rebuff stamina, you rebuff intellect for your priest, you spell steal, you polymorph, you just play defensives, right? You have at least 9 more seconds to wait, 6 more seconds here, so you're just hanging out. Smoke bomb comes out on your rogue's in trouble, he pops the cloak, Dragon's Breath onto the shaman. Okay, so this is pretty bad, right? Pretty bad. He's on the blind ER, right? You have Dragon's Breath the shaman, and you can't even poly off for 4 more seconds. So before you Dragon's Breath the shaman, you should be like, okay, I'm going to Dragon's Breath into a sheep. Well, you can't sheep yet, and the Dragon's Breath the yard. So really just not the greatest use of DP here. Definitely would have held on to that. You're building up procs, but you're using a lot of your damage before there's any CC on the shaman, which is like a big no-no, right? You want to get the CC, get the kidney, then use your damage. Okay, so you're kind of right now, you should really just be casting Fireball or Scorch or Spell Steal or Polymorph and building up damage, building up procs, controlling the team, then getting the CC on the shaman, then kidney, then kill, cross CC priest. That's really what you want to aim for here. You get stunned, your rogue's kicked, your priest is silenced, your rogue's evasion. Pretty scary here. I would recommend sheeping the priest or sheeping the rogue in a situation like this. Kidney comes out, no CC on the shaman. Now this is, the game could have ended if you got the full kidney and landed the poly. However, no polymorph, and the kidney comes out. So now it's you kind of have to wait till this next DR to win the game, this next kidney on the rogue to win the game, and then full poly the priest, so full poly the shaman during that. So now it's kind of like, okay, we messed up that go. It's okay, we can still win next go. We have to pause, right? Your priest should be on the pillar away. Your rogue should be running towards your priest. You should be spamming poly on everything. Looks like you are. That's good. Very, very good job there. Recognizing that, and you're just turtling until this next go. So let's see what ends up happening. You get hexed, you block it. Probably just want to go ahead and kill this earth grab since it seems to kind of keep proccing on you right there. You get interrupted, you get kicked. You're going for a full poly, but you get charmed. Even if you got that full poly, it's a little early, right? Stun DR is not for another 3 seconds, but you do get MC'd. So you could go for a Dragon's Breath Sheep here onto the Shaman into the rain. Let's see if you do that. There's the DP into the poly. Beautiful cross DC right there. So the kidney shot comes out. This game's over. This game's over. As long as you Massive Spell or lock the Shadow Priest who hasn't life top the rogue, or Massive Spell him out of the poly, those are the only 2 ways you lose. You have Counter Spell available. That's looking good. Get a lot of damage out onto this rogue, and he should be good to go. You do actually get that life swap. I would 100% stick on the rogue in this situation. Priest still has dispersion, and Priest are very tanky. So I would have stuck on that rogue there for sure. I would have thrown that meteor down. So I guess a couple globals sooner. Right here, you get the sheep. He starts to cast Massive Spell, but he fakes. Throwing the meteor down right here is essential, right? So when you're first looking at something like, okay, we're ready to burst, meteor is the first thing you want to look at. Is meteor up? It's like Comet Storm for Frost. Is meteor up? It is or it isn't. Okay, meteor is up. Boom, throw it down. You have enough damage here to kill through swap on this rogue since he's already 35% and you haven't even started your damage rotation yet. You have a lot of damage up. So you should be able to kill the rogue through swap here, really, if you just stick him. But you don't throw the meteor. The swap comes out, and then you swap to the priest. So once again, another kill opportunity kind of ruined. However, you did get dispersed and you did get cloak. Priest, 12% life. Looks like he's going to be okay to me because priests are just so tanky. And you do get the Spearling. So once again, not terrible. You got swap, you got dispersion, you got cloak. You could still win this next go, but yeah, your rogue actually goes down. I actually didn't see that. You could still win this next go, but your rogue actually was a silence on your priest, kitty shot on the rogue, and the rogue goes down here during the link. So I actually didn't see that. Unfortunate. You guys were really close to winning this game. Couple blunders, probably costing it. But just a couple things I would look out for, Twister. Rebuffing intellect, sheeping when you're going for your defensives, getting the meteors off if it's off cooldown for those burst windows. Don't go too ham in the opener if they're stacked. Holding your procs for those goes, getting ready for those big setups. And I mean, besides that, it looked pretty solid. There's just, you know, couple things to work on with you and your team. And then with your rogue, man, definitely just go ahead and get the polys and those kidneys at the same time if possible. I know it's not easy to do, you know, obviously. But land the polymorphs on the shaman, kidney that rogue, counterspell the priest, boom, 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 triple CC, throw down the meteor, fire blast, pyroblast, and that'll be GG. You guys were really close to winning the second one, but good game overall. Guys, if you enjoyed this walkthrough of not my gameplay, but one of my Twitch subscribers' gameplay, make sure to give the video a big thumbs up. If you guys learned something, make sure to give the video a big thumbs up, and give it a thumbs down if you did not like it. Now, I'm really curious on what you guys have to say about this down below in the comments. Do you guys like this? You know, a little lower MMR, but, you know, maybe helping you guys be like, oh, I do that in my own gameplay, I have to fix that. You know, oh, I don't rebuff intellect enough, maybe I should fix that, or, oh, wow, this mage is doing this very well and it's working at this MMR. Maybe I should start doing that, stuff like that. Do you guys like this, not like it? Let me know down below in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next upload. Peace.